I feel bad because I barely talked to you guys today. Let me tell you one story then, maybe one story. On our way back home after arriving at the airport, me and RMT took an Uber to my place because RMT left something a while ago in my apartment, and we got into this Uber, and the moment I got in I was like, yo, because the whole ceiling of the Uber was covered in sparkly LEDs. I was like, what's this Uber? What the hell? I asked because like there's different Uber types, right? There's like the normal Uber, and then there's like a little bit more of a fancy Uber, and then there's the big Ubers that you can order. But I was like, did I order the fancy Uber by accident? I didn't realize, and the driver was like, nah, it's just normal. Because I was so fascinated by the LEDs, he showed me some effects because they could change color. And he was like, what color do you want? And I said, they're blue right now. Let's do white so it looks like the stars in the sky. Because it was the whole ceiling of the car. Suddenly, from one side of the back to the other side and the front, there was like shooting stars. He had a shooting star effect. It was so cool. I was so fascinated. I kept on looking at the ceiling. I was like, this is so cool. This is so cool. He showed me, he pointed out that he has a screen, a TV screen in the front. Well, yeah, watching Netflix and all that is nice. Maybe when you're in a when you're in a traffic jam and you can't move on much. And he said, oh, even during driving I can watch because my car I actually also put in a DLC, you know what I mean? So that it drives on its own. And was like, what? All of those things he has been like installing himself, like a bootleg Tesla. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I thought only Teslas have that. Like I was like, doesn't this all of this cost a lot of money, like doing this stuff? And then he told us that he works for Uber, but he has like a company kind of. Like a lot of cars who drive for him, and they kind of drive for Uber, you know what I mean? And then he told me that he's doing that because he needs to save up money for his flying license, his commercial flying license. And I'm like, what? And then he kept on going about all these licenses. I was like, tell me more. This is interesting. He told me that he already has a private flying license and told me, yeah, that he's working on getting the commercial one. And he showed me a photo of the plane that he likes to fly. It's not like a huge plane, just like a small one. Yeah, and I was like, what? What? And then he tells me he has like pretty much a license of everything that you can control and drive. And I was like, okay, why? Like, what for? But yeah, it seems to be his hobby to like control everything that can move. So I was like, okay, when are you doing underground boat? Wasn't there a proper word for that in English? Yeah, submarine. He can drive trucks and like everything. Trains. I asked about trains too. He said he's not really interested in trains because it's boring, because there's not much to do, but he does want to try once only. But he did say that after getting the commercial license, he wants to be able to do it as a job. It was a really weird character. I felt like I met a really interesting NPC. I was so fascinated by like having so many licenses that I asked how old he was, because like how can you do all of that without being like pretty old? He said he was under 30. But I didn't tell him that I had quite an interesting life myself. But it's nice to hear some interesting stories sometimes. Sounds like a Yakuza character. Yeah. Sounds like he has rich parents. Yeah, I wanted to kind of know like where he gets all that money from. Apparently just from having those other people drive for him for Uber or so. Like for his company that works for Uber. But I'm like, can you really make that much money? Because the commercial flying license costs about $85,000. It sounded fishy to me. It doesn't matter, but that was a weird... I had a lot of weird Uber drivers, guys. I had a lot of weird Uber drivers in the past few days. The one with the window on its ceiling talking about stars in the sky and beauty and all that. And this guy flexing all the things with his car and his licenses and all that. Yeah, every Uber has a story. Normally, I don't want to talk to them, you know? I just want it to be quiet, but this one was actually interesting to listen to. Better than awkward silence? I don't think silence in an Uber is awkward. That's the one place where I don't think silence is awkward. I appreciate it when they don't talk. And if they talk, then at least have some interesting story to tell. Like that one guy I told you about yesterday. The guy who was just complaining because I triggered something in his memory. Anyway, I'm really hungry. That was my Uber story. But boy...